Howdy, howdy, and welcome to My Bloody Judy with your final forgets, myself, Zachary Patton Garcia.
And Ian Carlos Crawford.
As you start eating, I probably should have asked you for a second. We are here to cover Yellowjackets episode 8, It Chooses. We are one episode away from the season finale. It feels like it just snuck up on us, right?
I know.
They should have rounded it out with a nice 10 episodes. I don't know why they did 9.
I agree.
Kill off Travis, and they could have saved some budget and given us an episode.
I don't know that he's breaking their budget, Zach.
And well, if we're gonna start anywhere, that's where we'll start. We'll kill Travis, young Travis. What'd you think of this one? We just got done watching it, actually.
I liked it. I really don't know what's missing, but there is something like a little lacking, right?
Do you think? I've been seeing a lot of people say, and they started saying it towards the middle of the season, right? But like a lot of people are now saying that this season is kind of losing them a little bit. It does feel like everybody's kind of just been bopping around, holding onto secrets all season, and not really like talking, engaging with each other, sharing. Like there is something missing. And this was the first episode that we really had the Yellowjackets sit down, as older women in a room, sharing all the secrets, everybody getting on the same page. And I feel like that should have happened a lot earlier, because towards the end of season 1, they were kind of getting on the same page. And then we went through a whole nother season where they were all on different pages again,
Yeah, it almost feels, I feel like we said this before. It really does feel like they're circling the drain a little bit. Mm-hmm. This episode definitely had more forward momentum than the last few, because things were happening. They were talking about shit. The police, came to Jeff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just all right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I still enjoy watching it though. That's the thing. These actors are all really good.
I enjoy watching it, but I don't know. It's wearing on me a little bit. So we'll start with the past. Misty and Mari are helping Lottie piss. So, if you remember from the last episode, Shauna really fucked up Lottie. And so Lottie is needing help to piss. She's pissing blood, which means she probably has an infection. She looks rough. She's really going through it this episode. She's pretty much they have her in the upstairs, loft area of the cabin. And she's kind of just up there the entire episode. But she's having visions this entire time. She's hallucinating, which is not uncommon from the rest of them, because they're all kind of hallucinating this episode.
Right, because we then quickly get, I don't even remember that girl's name.
Akila.
Mouse. Akila.
Yes.
We find out that Akila has been carrying around a dead mouse.
The corpse of a mouse, which, you know what? I was a lot happier to hear this than I was, because I thought when Ty pointed out the mouse that she was going to take it, and they were going to, cut it up into little bits, and everybody gets, a little piece of mouse chicken. But I'm glad that the mouse was already dead, and she's just, give the corpse back to her, and let her just, pretend, right? Why do you have to call it out? Give her a little bit of happiness, because that has ruined it for her now, You need the mental stimulation.
And then also, while they're finding that out, they're making a belt soup.
They're making a belt soup. They're putting a belt into some soup. I guess that's supposed to show us their desperation as far as they're being hungry. So I know that this entire season they've been pointing out how hungry they are and they need food and stuff like that. But I feel like the weight of it I haven't felt the weight of their hunger. When you're hungry, you have fucking pain. It hurts. And I feel like we could have seen them in a lot more pain, hunger pains, a few times.
Yeah, I agree.
But so I guess they're throwing whatever into a pot, because this is going to be the eating episode, or not eating. They're not going to eat, but we're going to get something. Ty's also seeing multiples of herself. She's looking in the window and she's hallucinating multiples of herself. All of them are basically hallucinating in one way or another. Natalie is concerned about everybody and how they're acting. I guess Natalie wasn't really hallucinating, was she?
Natalie feels like the only one that's Natalie and Coach Ben feel, which is funny that they're sitting together talking, because they're the only two that don't seem like they've gone fully
they already ate their belts. Listen, they took their belts off a few weeks ago and ate them. It's lasted them this long. I don't know. So at the beginning of this season, I was more I'm on the fence about whether this is supernatural or real life. But I think the further we get into the show, I am just completely sold that this is all real life shit. None of it's supernatural. It's like madness of many. They're hallucinating because they're hungry. Like, there is no wilderness. There is no higher being in this show that is pulling puppet strings. I know you're not there, but I'm definitely sold on that now.
I feel like if anything, this season has told me that like it's way more than just that because they're still doing it in the present day, and like they're not hungry anymore. They got like you said, there's an Arby's. There's like they can go get food wherever the fuck they want. And I feel like
I love that that's out of our entire watch. That's what you pulled from it. There's an Arby's.
I just thought that was funny. It was so specific.
We'll get to it. There's an Arby's somewhere.
And like I just feel like the like whole like we brought something back with us like blah, blah, blah. Like I get where like that could be, but like for me it's like okay, but they weren't even together anymore. They're not hungry.
Yeah,
they're living their lives. Like they shouldn't still be having the like mass hallucinations anymore. But I guess like the case could be made. But I still go back to Lottie's episode where she predicted the car crash that happened with her family.
I guess maybe. I don't know about that. I don't know. It just all seems like it can be explained away. Who else is hallucinating here? Akila almost eats the mouse, but decides not to. Honestly, at that point, just cook it. Just cook it. The hallucination's been broken for you. The curse is lifted.
That's what I was wondering, but like I wonder if it's like too hard. Like I wonder if it's like you know what I mean?
Because
like
too tough.
It's like so small and like it would be like eating leather at that point.
I mean, they're doing it, so pick which leather you want, I guess.
True, yeah.
And it might be, like, diseased, so maybe not. Maybe don't do that.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right.
Coach, like, remember Coach found the drawings a little bit ago, and so, like, he has now found a drawing of, like, I guess these tree roots, and I was a little confused here. So, like, he had recognized them, right?
Yeah.
Like, he looked at them, and his eyes grew, and his jaw kind of dropped. Like, he recognized it, but when would he have?
But I don't think I think it was more like holy shit, like that kind of thing. But I still don't understand why, right?
Maybe okay, you know what I bet it is then actually, okay, that makes more sense. So we know that Javi was like surviving out in the wilderness for X amount of time and it just seemed impossible. Maybe he has a little bit more knowledge about the wilderness and can recognize this as some sort of maybe bear den. Because eventually we find that there is a den. There's like an area that is, kind of untouched by the snow, and this is where Javi had been camping out. And so he knows that Javi drew these pictures, and so Javi has some knowledge of whatever the hell was there. I don't know. And so he pulls up the map and he starts like the searching for whatever, and trying to pinpoint a place where he's going to go. And they all start hearing the wilderness, I guess, at this point. They're listening to the wilderness now. They're listening to the trees and the colors of the wind, all that good stuff. They're fucking losing it.
I mean, I do think it's both. I do think they are also losing their minds, but like I think there is supernatural, but also they're losing their minds.
I don't know. Misty's really concerned for Coach, though. I like that she has this. This is like really nice. I think the stuff we carry over from episode to episode with certain characters is really nice, especially with like Misty, because we have been dealing with her guilt in the past about losing Crystal and then when Coach was going to kill himself and she really was upset about that, and we can see that carry over into this episode where she's really concerned about him even handling a knife right now, and you see it on her face, and the actress is really good at wearing it on her face. And he convinces her, no, like I'm not planning on offing myself right now. I'm going to go into the wilderness. Like, nobody questions, what are you going to go out there for? He's just like, I'm going out into the wilderness, but what for? Is anybody going to ask that question? But he's like preparing his crutches, I guess, to go out there and go and search for this.
Yeah, because he makes it more of like a round, like foot to stand on.
What was Travis like apologizing to Natalie for? Because he goes up to Natalie and apologizes to Natalie
because he wasn't speaking to her prior to this.
Is that what it was? That's it?
I think.
I don't know. I don't know. It felt like a weird, like nothing sort of like happening there. I don't know. It feels like they were like kind of filling airtime. What else we got?
God, I'm getting the Yellowjackets hunger pains. I haven't eaten dinner.
I
That bite
know.
of pizza
I've been
is the
thinking about
one.
Taco Bell. I think I'm going to do Taco Bell right after this. So. Either Taco Bell or I'll pretend I'm, in the wilderness with some chicken broth.
Maybe I'll get a Taco Bell. We could have bread and Taco Bell.
Ooh, we can both have Taco Bell. Lottie asks Misty not to waste her body. So I guess Misty is the caretaker because she's been the one taking care of Lottie. Which everybody needs to fucking remember when we're in the present. Please I'm so hungry. Meanwhile, I have this. What is that over off to the side? You have something off to the side that you're eating?
It's a cold piece of pizza. One pizza. I haven't eaten since like 11 a.m.
Since the plane crashed. I hadn't eaten since the plane crashed. Missy's the caretaker, though, and she's been keeping track of Lottie and keeping up with Lottie. And Lottie says, hey, if I die, like, don't waste my body, which is good. And it kind of, like, alleviates the sort of guilt for everybody else, or it should. And Misty, I feel like, says what you're supposed to say. Like, no, don't talk like that. But then she's also, like, looking at her neck like she's about to dig in, know?
Yeah. Because, like, just fucking eat her, right? Like, you already did it once, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why I get too hot about Lottie because I fucking hate like religious spirituality.
Oh gosh, this girl is on her deathbed.
Great, then eat her. Like,
she is still alive, Ian.
But
remind me not to go to the wilderness with this motherfucker. Actually, she's not, because if you don't remember, she's in the future. She's in the present.
No, I know, but like, if I am dying, Zach, I'm not going to be like, no, don't eat. I'm going to be like, yeah, fucking eat me if I die.
I will, and I will absolutely bash your head. You do not have the same rights. I do not give you permission. But if you are on your deathbed and we are in the wilderness, I will take advantage of that. I'll bash your head in, and we will have a nice feast that night.
Like,
Misty will eat your ass cheeks. They all have that. Misty goes downstairs and tells everybody what Lottie had said, and they all, I guess, like, so going back to your point, giving you a little bit more credit, it's like, okay, she's on her deathbed, but they're all like, but Lottie doesn't have to die. Lottie's the only one we really want here. Because isn't that how they were talking about her? It was weird, right?
Yeah, so Ty sits up and is like, we're gonna like figure this out, but like without eating her. And so I was like, oh good, Ty's like being normal, like she's gonna try to find like a solution.
Not normal at all. Absolutely.
But then no.
Because then this is where we start to get, okay, well, we're gonna start hunting each other and nourishing ourselves with each other. Now, they come up with a system to do this, all of this sort, like, they're all pretty much in agreement on like how they're going to do this, right? But I have to say, let's exhaust the bodies that we already have currently. Crystal is out there somewhere, which Misty's never going to give up that body, But we could eat Crystal. I hate to say it, but the baby is out there.
I don't hate to say it. Why'd they bury it?
The baby's there.
Cook it.
Go get the baby.
I bet that tastes better than belts.
Probably. But like before we start killing each other that are, healthy and alive, maybe you eat the dead ones first. Or maybe just take a little. Where's the coach's leg? Did they even try to eat that calf muscle? Where the fuck is his leg?
God, that'd be so weird to be like, well, eat up. This is your leg.
There you go. Well, he's gone by now. He has gone into the wilderness, so he doesn't know that they're planning all this.
They
have a deck of cards, and they decide, what is it, the queen? The queen of something. I don't even remember what it was, but the queen of something. Whoever pulls that card is going to be the one that they kill, I guess. And so they all go through it. And
see, but that's what drives me nuts. It's like we're like worshiping Lottie this much that she's not allowed to die, so we're gonna kill someone, even though she might still die.
It's like maybe wait a couple days, or I don't know. I guess this is like we're up Lottie's ass, and even I'm surprised Shauna was really down to go for this too. Although at the same time I'm not, because Shauna's very ready to eat a bitch. She doesn't care how it happens, but if she gets to serve up a bitch in front of her, she's gonna eat her.
I also think that Shauna is now a little bit of a convert since like Lottie let her kick her ass.
Kind of. Well. But she seemed more pissed at Lottie last episode. She was like, fucking Lottie.
Yeah, you're right.
Die, bitch.
But like, now I don't know. Now everyone, it feels like now everyone but Natalie has gone full on praise Lottie.
Yeah.
Jesus is back.
I mean, it is the wilderness. We're not going to go into Jesus. Calm down. We're going to the wilderness. The wilderness is this higher power that we're all following, and some shit. The wilderness is not real. Um,
I mean, I would have said the same thing with what I was saying before. So
no, yes, but I believe in Jesus. Okay, so respect my beliefs on that. We're talking about the wilderness right here.
I just like
motherfucker.
The religion. I just like. I feel like I hate it even more this way because I hate religion so much, and like, I'm just like, what are you like? What the fuck are you doing? But they're kids, so like, I'm glad that at least like the one adult.
And in the situation that they're in, I give them a lot more pass to believe in something. They have to believe in something because, like, what is the alternative? Just fucking like, we're just gonna wither. We're just gonna wither and die, or are we gonna believe in some sort of like hope that can get us through this?
But what's the hope? They're stranded.
If they're gonna create some sort of hope in their head that the wilderness can get them through this, then that's what they're gonna do. It makes sense. People do turn to religion.
Oh,
non-religious people will turn to religion in a time of crisis. Yeah, so this is exactly what's happening right now. And so Natalie picks the card, which I was like, oh, Natalie, you better get that wig and run, girl.
I did think, I was like, oh, this is where we're going to eat one of the extra girls that have been added this season. I was like, oh, one of them's going to pick the card. But then once we got to Natalie, I was like, oh, okay.
You know, we've been talking all season. Like, we're going to go back and watch the first episode and, like, pick up on some things that we've missed. We still have not done that. But, so, I don't remember if the girl in the beginning that they were hunting was dark-haired or light-haired. But that's why I thought she was Jackie. I remember thinking she was Jackie back then because she was lighter-haired. And if so, they're really focusing on this girl with the hat a lot. And I think the girl with the hat might be that girl.
Yeah, I mean, maybe before we watch.
Because there's another theory, right? You said that there was another theory that it was Mari.
Yeah. People think it's Mari, just the same way people think the Antler Queen is Lottie. Like she got her face messed up, so she put something over it.
And then I've also seen a theory that the Antler Queen is Ty, and it could have been like one of Ty's personalities.
Didn't we see her arms?
Oh, did we? Maybe we did.
But maybe we didn't. I mean,
I don't know. But like the hair doesn't mean anything because the hair's like pinned onto like, the dress. So Natalie is the one that's supposed to be sacrificed, and I guess Shauna's going to do the sacrificing. Let me tell you, Shauna really is ready to eat anybody. Jackie wasn't barbecued for 2 seconds before Shauna was like, "Oh, my friend, let's eat her. Let's just fucking dig in, right? We've got canines for a reason." And Natalie was like, well, if you're going to kill me, you have to look me in the eye if you're going to cut my throat, right? And so that gives Shauna enough hesitation that fucking Travis. I'm so ready for Travis to die. They should have just cooked Travis. It gives Shauna enough hesitation that Travis has time to jump in and like stop Shauna, and Natalie takes off running, and I guess they all go after her, and so while she's running, I guess Javi goes out and he's like, "Hey, follow me to this bear den. I found I have my little hiding spot that I guess the coach is at right now."
The coach is there, yes.
Yes. He needs to stay his ass there too, because now we're drawing cards.
Yeah.
So they're like running. They run across the ice, and Javi falls through the ice, and Misty actually stops Natalie and says, "Hey, if you get Javi out of there, they're going to kill you." And so they all stand and watch Javi drown, and it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. I like that pissed me off. Like I did get pissed, even though it's like I knew that kid needed to go because, like you said, that actor
he's too old.
Aging.
He's too old. This is the only reason why he did die. He's like too old.
It's like, oops.
He should not be taller than everybody in the cast at this point, you know?
And like, I get that, but like, I got so pissed at them watching that shit because like, I just feel like cults aren't that far from religion for me. So for me, I'm like, these religious motherfuckers, this tracks, but I'm fucking pissed at all of them for watching this kid die and being like, well, nothing we can do. When like, oh, you could save him. And like, very easily they could have saved him, right? It's not like, oh, if we try to save him,
it's the same sort of thing with Lottie, right? Is like, we're trying to save Lottie.
Right. But not him.
It's just, It's so funny that you are acting like this too, because like every episode before, you're like, there are no rules in
No, there
Yellow
aren't. There
Jackets. There's
aren't. There aren't. Like they
Yeah.
eat. That's why I feel like everything, every living thing that dies, eat it.
Yeah.
Like cook that baby, cook that rat.
My
Um, but I don't feel like watching a. I mean, he doesn't look way younger than them, but he's supposed to be
Yeah.
way younger than them.
If you like
And it's
Squid,
like,
you take your contacts out. You're like,
yeah. So it's like I think like what's supposed to be like 12 or 13,
I would
maybe.
imagine, yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, man, just like watching a 13-year-old die because you have to save Lottie, who is your fucking god. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, it makes me so mad.
And listen, he was fucking weak. He was weak as shit. You know, Rose held
He
on
survived the whole winter.
in the middle of the ocean, the cold ocean, for that long, and this boy couldn't survive in this little pond of water for a second.
Little pond.
This was like 10 seconds until he died.
I think, I don't know why my throat's so scratchy.
My God,
Um,
do you have the plague?
I might. And the black lung.
We're all looking at you. You might be the one cooked. I don't know.
You know what? Do it. If I die, do it. Cook me.
Absolutely. What are we going to use your man bun for? Socks. Like weave them together and make like a little sock.
You can make a cute little bracelet to be like,
There
oh,
you
this
go.
is my friend.
Why
Ian.
make a bracelet. I need something to keep me warm, like a little blanket from the mouse.
My hair isn't going to keep
For
you
the mouse.
warm.
Yeah. So that's pretty much like how we end the past. And then we see like scenes in the next episode, like previews of them like bringing his body back. So Travis is gonna see that. Just gonna be really hard on him. So I feel bad for him there, but like you need to die too, Travis. But we know he's not going to. In the present,
The thing I want to point out though is the one transition that I really liked is when the Smashing Pumpkins plays, which I love that song, when they're like chasing them, and then present day Shauna is like, that shit wasn't real, Lottie.
Oh yes, I did really like that. So in the present, Shauna starts to. This is like the same night that they're all having like their big drunken powwow where they're having a lot of fun, right? And then Shauna comes in and has to bring it all down, and Shauna's like, "Guys, they found Adam's body," but she's like doing it. She's not even doing a really good job about it.
No.
She's saying they found Adam's body, but like not really trying to make any story with it, or I don't know, like because Van and Lottie don't know what's going on, but
everyone else does.
But like she says it so plainly that they kind of are like, this is weird. They all of them, all of the ones in the know start freaking out, and they like go outside, and eventually they all end up on the same page, right? Like it's not like too much longer after this that Lottie and Van both like figure out that like they were all in on it. They all are.
Because Van reads Ty immediately when Ty's like, I don't know her. I don't know who that is. And she's like, you're lying.
Yeah.
Which you and I both agreed. We prefer like good. Don't give us.
Just this is the episode everybody's getting on the same page. They just get on the same page in this episode, which I'm really happy. I feel like this could have been done like episodes ago.
Yeah.
But I love Misty's all of her shit throughout this entire thing. She's
so
like,
good.
she's like, Natalie, didn't you measure how far down you put him? She's like, I wasn't carrying a yardstick with me. What are you fucking talking about?
She's like, I should have done it myself, which she should have.
No, Misty's like, should have done it myself. And Misty's also telling Shauna like, what else is she telling Shauna? She's like, I fucking gave you instructions, like detailed instructions on how to handle this situation.
Because she ends up, because the other part that she reveals is that Jeff knew what happened.
Yes, so they all go into the sharing shack. Lottie brings them all into the sharing shack, and then they start really one by one, like putting everything out on the table. And I was just so happy that we got to this.
Yeah, and like, so Shauna eventually, like tells them that. So first, it's that Jeff knew, and then later in the sharing tent, right? It's when she says that, like, oh, I didn't take notes on that. Because when did she tell them that Jeff was actually? When do they find out Jeff was?
It's all in the sharing shack, because they go in the sharing shack and they're like pretty much there. They're there the entire time. Yeah,
for the rest.
They're there for the rest of the episode.
Because Van threw Shauna's keys.
Yeah, so let's go into Jeff, because we go back and forth a couple times. Let's just get Jeff out of the way. So the investigators show up at Shauna's house, and they have a search warrant, and so they go through Shauna's house, and there's a little moment where Callie and the cop that
like Callie. That cop's gotta go. They gotta eat him.
I'm not sold on Kelly yet.
I think she's being smart where she's like, I'm gonna video you and like
Yeah.
say that you hit on me. Like, yeah, and then fucking kill him. Like the cop's gotta go. He's too much trouble.
Hmm.
Adam's already dead. Like, man, it already happened. Let him go.
We do forget that he was innocent. Like,
Yes, completely.
he actually didn't do
Completely.
anything. Well, we need to save Mama, okay? That's what we need to do. My mom comes
We
first.
we need to save Melanie Linsky.
We need to save Melanie Linsky.
And like, but I thought she was smart. And like, there's I feel like there's a lot of shows where they do that, and I love when you can make me side with someone who like actively did a terrible thing. Like I love it, and that's what this show has done. I'm like, fuck that cop. Who does
all
he
of
think
them
he
do,
is?
right? And as they start going around telling the terrible things that they've all done, we're all like, yeah, it sounds understandable. All of
Yeah.
it.
But like I love when a show can do that where I'm like, because Dead Like Me had a season where there was a cop who was like investigating, and it's like I was like, oh, I hate her. Who does she think she is? And it's like, well, she's investigating a murder. So like, but I get very like, just let them go. They're doing fine. Like the murder already happened. You can't take it back. Because I make allowances for characters I love.
Absolutely. Why not?
And so Callie does all that, but that hot talk cop isn't pressed either. He's like,
No,
tells her like,
he
your
plays
mother's a
it super
sociopath
cool.
and you're
Yeah.
just like her.
And it does stick
Which,
with her.
like-
she's like, am I like my mother? Because she asked
Yeah.
Jeff a little bit later. But like, so the investigators also like get Jeff at the dining room table and put all of the pictures of Adam's body out in front of him.
Yeah.
And I
they
just
kind
kept
of-
thinking the entire time, well, this is what they did with all the girls in the wilderness, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
they
like,
know how to do this. This looks pretty precise.
which the police tell Jeff that like she has prior experience with this, like because what is it? They say like the way
it's
the
been
bones
like
are
a
cut.
rumor, right? That they've
That's
been
what
doing
I'm
it.
not sure. I'm not sure what like the public knows versus because they do say it when they're talking to Jeff. She has prior experience with doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, did the girls go public with eating Jackie? Well, no, but they didn't go public with eating Jackie because she gets dinner with the parents. But like, if they said that, they have to know that she ate someone, right?
I think it's just rumor right now. I think it's pretty much what everybody believes. Because when we did get the reporter that was like at the beginning of the series, when the reporter was kind of, poking at everybody, she was
Yeah.
kind of like alluding to things like that.
That's true.
So Jeff just isn't having it though. Like he, evades the investigators, but he does have like a dream later that Callie comes or that Shauna comes home. It's like fucking wild. Poor Jeff, man. Like Jeff needs a retreat. Jeff needs to go to a spa,
does.
right? Because he is so stressed. This man, he's having dreams that his wife has no hands and she has like those turkey carvers for hands. That she's carving him up. Just such a fucking wild dream to have, but it's a little comedic. It is pretty funny, but also poor fucking Jeff that he's dreaming his wife is doing this. And he'd already like kind of like figured out that his wife had an affair because she needed some more spice. She needed something to be a little bit more thrilling than just like the suburban life that they'd created. And so like he's dreaming that her spice that she's craving is carving him up.
What is it like? Dream Shauna says to him like, "You like this," and he's like, "Why the fuck would I like
Why
this?"
the fuck would I like this? This is dangerous. Poor guy. And then he wakes up and him and Kelly have a conversation about, it's just like the Coming Clean episode. So like Jeff admits that Shauna had a baby out there, and that's really affected her, which is something that I guess because we hadn't really addressed that, right? Like who knows about the baby?
Yeah. I didn't know that she didn't know.
So I'm guessing maybe some like people they talk to, like investigators they talk to when they did get rescued, probably know. Jeff probably knows, but outside of like her like close knit circle, I guess nobody really knew.
Yeah. I because I wouldn't have assumed that the daughter didn't know. I would have been like, she probably knows, but I guess like Shauna didn't tell anyone. That wasn't like part of the whatever story,
And she didn't need to,
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they find the baby's body? Did they bring the baby's body back, or is it out there?
I'm sure it's out there or eaten in their bellies.
If somebody just cooks it and brings it in front of everybody and doesn't tell Shauna that they're doing it, then it's done already.
It's a turkey.
It's the turkey.
I found
There
a
you go,
turkey
with the carvers.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. This is a fucked up show. Now we go back, and we are so the Yellow Jackets, older Yellow Jackets, are gathered in the sharing shed. Everything is out on the table now. Secrets are coming out. Ty reveals that she sent the reporter after everybody because she wanted to know if she could trust everybody because she was running an election.
Well,
And
wait. First, what's the first thing that is it Misty like, well, if you want to tell them,
there's a lot that comes out here,
that's
right?
true.
So like, it's Ty also says, or Van says that Ty had hitchhiked because this leads into the Misty's really good line where
Right.
Misty and Ty's like, yeah, I had to find him, and Misty was like, well, yeah, I have everybody's addresses. I could have told you the addresses
Rather
instead of
than outsourcing.
outsourcing. And so then they question outsourcing, and
Yeah.
they start going into the outsourcing, and the outsourcing was what the reporter
Yeah. Who
and
Misty killed. And Misty and the
also comes out.
Misty's like, I took care of it.
I took care of
And
it, and it's yeah,
I love and then she also admits that she's the FBI that investigated Randy. Um
yeah.
and I love that Van says, Misty, you are nothing if not proactive. And Misty's
That
like,
was I
thank
wrote that
you.
line down. I'm like I
Yeah,
was
me
really
too.
impressed with that line because I know that was supposed to be a dig, but I'm like actually like put it on your resume because
Like, yeah.
it is a very good skill to have. And I know everybody's kind of poking at you, but I just like how she's like not remorseful about any of it. She's like, yeah, of course I
I
did this. Of course I
like
did that.
Misty is the most well-adjusted of all of them, and she
Actually,
like outwardly feels the craziest, but she's not.
yeah, she's not. The rest of
She's
them
come to
are.
terms with everything.
And they can
Like,
all hide behind their like, oh, I am, morally sound, and I'm,
right.
I just had to do this because of the. And Misty's like, no, no,
This is
there
who
was a
we are.
reporter who came asking questions, so I locked her up in my basement and fed her some poisoned cigarettes and let her go on her way.
And like, I just love that. It's the fact that Misty's like, yeah, whatever, that happened. Like, she's not doing it. It's not like the rest of them like hide in shame, right? It's like Shauna's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
cool
and they
about
try to
that.
shift blame onto each other,
Right.
right? And then when everybody eventually comes around to shifting blame on Misty because she is the easiest one to do it with, she's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she explains it out, right? And she's like, "Yes, this is the reason I did it. This is how I did it. That woman won't be bothering us anymore. Do you want to shift?" Okay. And they're all kind of like, it's like okay. So do you ever see like TikToks about Tokyo Tony and all the lives that she does? Do you know who Tokyo Tony is?
I don't
Black
know.
China's mom. Okay. This
Oh,
woman is crazy. Tokyo Tony is like insane, right? But you cannot fuck with Tokyo Tony. She is the most unapologetic woman that I've seen. The craziest unapologetic woman that I've seen. And like people have gone on to her lives and like told her, "You are a terrible mother. You're a toxic mother. You're a horrible person." Somebody really came onto her live and said, "You're a toxic mother," and of course China hates you. And she said, "So I'm a toxic mother. Okay, now what?" That's
oh
exactly
yes, I just
Misty.
googled her. She has
Yes.
that video where she's like, "Oh, I like men and women. No, I'm not bisexual." Right?
Yeah.
Like she has that
She's
where
the
she's
type
been
of person where
interviewed.
you insult her and she says, "Yeah, okay, and next. What? What
Right.
next?"
Okay. Yeah.
Like, let's just go through all the things. And Misty's exactly like that. She's like, "Yes, I killed somebody. Next. Do you want me
Because
to
then
do you want me
like
to
they
cry?"
get and like the other reveal that I do like here is Shauna admits that if the tables were the reason she didn't want to tell them it was Jeff blackmailing is
Mm,
because if the tables returned, she absolutely would have murdered one of their spouses. And I did appreciate because like that is true, right? Like
yeah.
we've seen the way they act, and I don't blame Shauna. Like I mean, you would want to protect your husband, right? But like
Hmm.
I appreciate that she's being honest because like knowing her, she would have gone to if Lottie had a husband who knew it, she would have gone to his house, shot him in the fucking head, and been
And they
like,
all
"Well,
have
we're done."
reasons for like wanting to keep certain
Right.
secrets suppressed, right? Like Ty, I arguably did have like the biggest. She was running like a public election. She did not want anybody knowing these things. So if um Ty had
God,
known
why would
about
she
Jeff,
run for
Ty probably
office?
would have had Jeff killed, you know?
Like, what? I very much, I'm like, why would you even do, like, as a murderer, maybe don't run for public office.
I don't know. We're like 25 years later, it's like, maybe nobody remembers.
Fair.
Maybe, maybe. I don't know. We didn't have Twitter back then.
I guess she didn't know until recently that she was still sleepwalking, right? Like, she
Yeah.
doesn't start, like, knowing that.
Mm. I don't know. Everything starts coming out basically, though. So they what other secrets? They I guess Van's cancer doesn't really come out because Lottie does say that like Van's been acting, really subdued
But
and
Van feels
not
like the
as
most
naughty. I
like
know. I'm like, but I have to be honest. Van has not been doing it for me this season. Younger Van or older Van, it's just not working for me. Um, but Van's got fucking cancer and she doesn't say anything. Like I would be like, yeah, I'm acting weak because I have cancer.
yeah,
I have
like
cancer.
I have a reason to
Give
be
me a
upset in
fucking break, okay? I
present
don't feel
day.
like drinking poison tea tonight.
Yeah,
Or maybe
like
I do. Just give it to me. Just
you know,
hand it to me.
you after I asked you 85 times to drink it. Fine, I'll fucking drink the poison tea. And like, but I
Yeah.
do like that. So then this is why this is when I start hating Lottie again. When she's
Okay.
like, well, now we all have to drink our poison tea.
Yeah.
And I
This comes out
love
of fucking nowhere too,
yes.
right? I will say, let's give a positive about Lottie. She looks fucking gorgeous in
She
this
looks
episode. Her
fantastic.
skin is glowing. Her
Her
hair is
hair is
like,
so
and it's
shiny.
I want to go back and check the last episode if she looked like that too, or if it looked like they filmed these separately. Because whatever she was doing this during this filming week, she like dropped the skincare routine.
Yeah,
Cause
she looked fantastic. Um,
but she does come out because she is arguing that she's insisting that there is a reason that they have
like there's a
all come back
presence.
together,
Yeah.
right? This presence is demanding something from them. They know how to appease this god or this wilderness,
Yeah.
and they have to give it what it wants. And so she brings out a fucking tray of poison teas or poison coffee, whatever the fuck it is.
And I just love Misty refusing. And she's like, and this is what the Heaven's Gate cult did too. Like I
And
love
she
it.
says, how do we know? So we're just gonna trust you, who poured it all, right? How do we know you don't know which one the poison tea is? Like Misty's not having it. Misty's like, are you fucking no?
And then Lottie
Um,
offers to drink the last drink after they've all been picked.
let's
And
backtrack just a slight bit because I
okay.
do want to go to because it was a little disconnected because we're covering past and present. But that transition you brought up earlier about Shauna
Yes.
saying we didn't remember because I do want to talk about that. Okay, what did you make of that? That
Right, because the cut is from while the girls are like screaming, chasing Natalie to
hmm
eat her. And that's the cut to Shauna being like, none of that shit was real.
yeah.
So I was like, hmm.
So was it real or was it like a suppressed thing?
But they were talking about the presents before the like in the present day, Lottie was telling them about the present. So it could be read two ways, but I do think it's like Shauna's reacting to what Lottie's talking about. Like, we brought the
Okay.
dark presence back with us. Like Shauna's saying none of that was real, not that them eating someone.
I would rather look at it like that then,
Yeah.
because don't confuse me even more
Right.
when we've now introduced hunting each other, right? Like, let that be something that has happened, and everybody is on board that that happened.
Which we know is something that happened.
Yes. Uh, do we? I don't know. I feel like the filmmakers are like, do
True.
we? Do we? What do you think happened?
Maybe.
Like, fucking
See,
hell, man.
I feel like I cursed it. When I did that episode with Erin, I was like, the thing like, and I love Lost, so I say this lovingly, it's one of my favorite shows. Lost, very clearly they knew what they were doing till like season 3, and then they
Yeah.
clearly didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They kept saying, no, we know exactly what we know, everything, we have everything planned, we know what we're doing, and they very, very clearly did not. I think they probably maybe had like an inkling of where they wanted it to end, and that's what they meant by we always knew, but they did not. And I said this show I felt confident in the like writers world that they knew what they were doing, and now I'm a little like, ooh, I don't
And
know.
it is super easy to plot like your beginning, sort of like little events you want to happen, and then the beginning, right? But like
Yeah,
filling all of that in
I've
is
been having that trouble with my horror book. Like I know
which
where I'm ending it.
feels like what this episode is really proving
Yeah,
is that they maybe have a roadmap. It may not be entirely filled in, but like there's a whole episode here where we kind of just see the older Yellowjackets putting it out on the table, which I feel it could have been done in a couple scenes, but instead it's
yeah,
the entire episode,
yes.
um, which is a little drawn out for me. So Lottie brings out all the cups. One of them's poisoned, and then where are we? What are we doing?
I don't know. That's it, right?
That's it. That's it for them.
Misty
Okay.
refuses, and that's it.
Lottie says what it was. It was just Lottie. Yeah. One cup is poison, and we don't see who takes it yet. I guess that's the episode, which is such a weird, like, episode right before the finale.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like them hunting Nat was a big deal.
Hmm.
I guess.
It didn't feel as strong as like the first episode. I hate shit. I don't like shitting on the show either, and I'm not shitting on it. We're just kind of like talking about it, but
You're allowed to not like an episode? Zach only
yeah,
likes when I don't like a thing.
I feel like it could have been. I don't mind when you don't like a thing. I think it actually makes for better banter when you don't like
No,
something.
I said you only like when I don't like a thing.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's just like we were kind of leading up to this, and then it kind of just like got dropped into our lap, and then I'm like looking at it, like,
Well,
oh, is that what that is? Okay.
I also think because we hit the Jackie moment was such a big deal,
That
and
was huge.
it almost feels like they should have just waited to do that because that felt like almost like it should have been the finale. Like, oh, well, now they're doing it. They're eating her, and they did it, and then it kind of like slumped back down.
Hmm. This
You know what I
last
mean?
episode's got to be big, man.
And
They
like,
gotta give us a cliffhanger because you can't
and
do the
like,
thing where you're just like, oh, we're gonna keep it a quieter finale. Don't
and
do that.
don't give me any more casting announcements. Like, don't fucking tell me one more casting announcement.
No more casting announcements. I don't want to know any of the Yellowjackets that have survived anymore. I don't want.
Because some of them have to die,
They
right?
have to
Like,
die. So we have now introduced, or we are now following Aquila a little bit closely. We're following the girl with the hat because I know some of y'all have criticized us, and you're like, they were in the show last season. It's like bullshit. I did not hardly see anybody. They may have been like up against a window, out in the background, out of focus, but. You're not going to tell me that they were all in focus like they were this season. Okay, we're focusing on people now. Girl with the hat, Mari's gotten a lot to do this season, so
I mean, Mari's been pretty front and center, so I feel like she's got to be eaten. Because my problem with like Van also being there and like we know Travis survives is like it kind of lowers the tension, I think.
mhm.
Like when they're hunting Natalie, it's like, well, I know they can't eat her. Like
Yeah.
Lottie's kind of half dying in the attic, but it's like I know she can't die. Like I don't know,
Mari is
like
kind of like that character that we are kind of watching with bated breath to see because we know that there's going to come if she's dead in present day, there comes a moment where she is going to feel some betrayal because she is like Lottie's right hand, right? Like she is the one
yeah,
who has believed it from the beginning,
from the beginning.
and that's got to be some huge sort of like searing betrayal when she does finally get God.
Yeah.
Um, hmm.
And like I mean, it's I do feel like people need to start dying. Like last season, Jackie and what the fuck was the religious girl's name? Laura Lynn?
Laura Lee, Lynn
Like,
Lee.
these were main characters that died, but now it feels like
Yeah.
we have no main characters. And like, I'm not gonna care that much when Mari and Aquila die.
Oh, I will. I will. I like Aquila very much.
Well, no, but I mean, you know what I mean? Is it won't have the same impact as like someone that's a main character because these aren't
Yeah.
main characters.
Hmm.
These are side characters. So it's like we're just kind of seeing them more, and we know we're seeing them more probably to die.
Yeah.
But then I feel like in 2 months they'll be like casting announcement. These
Watch
are
the
going to be
next
adult.
episode be like three of these girls die in one
I know.
episode.
Well,
Fucking wild. But so I'm guessing they have to be spaced out then because they can
there's not that
one
many girls
body can
left.
last them pretty for a long time, So we're not gonna get a whole lot, I
But
don't
wait,
think.
didn't they eat all of Jackie in like one night?
Yeah, but I'm saying that it was then a while before they were hungry again.
Hungry again,
It was at
yeah.
least a couple months. So
Okay, yeah.
okay. This was episode 8. Episode 9 is this week actually. So we'll be covering that and then it's done for however long. I don't fucking know. I don't know. What did you think of this episode of the Yellowjackets? How do you think this season is going? And what do you think is going to happen in the finale? What do you have over on the horrorpress.com for folks to go and check out that is already there?
I have a long, long review of Scream 6 that has literally all of my thoughts, and I had a lot. A
I'm
Ghostface
surprised
ranking.
you haven't done a home release Scream 6 review now.
Let's do it. The 25th anniversary, Buffy at 25. I'm writing a kind of column. Talked about the season 2 episode, I Only Have Eyes for You, and wrote a piece on the iconic season finale, Becoming, which Zach and I love. and why it still slaps 25 years later, because it fucking does.
Let us know, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.